representing Canterbury District, from Ashburton College, please welcome James Rance.
Say goodbye to old New Zealand, for we are here in the foreign land. Say goodbye to all your freedom, for we may be here for a long, long time. We fought for freedom, for the land that gave us birth, but we will never forget New Zealand, the dearest little spot on earth. Ladies and gentlemen, we are once again approaching the day where we give our utmost respects to those who fought, those who fell, and those whose lives will never be the same. For over a century, our brave New Zealand men and women have left the borders of this country to take up arms and fight for the freedom of our nation. Today, I would like to pay tribute to those who aren't necessarily revered war heroes, but offered their services to the war and fought for the country they love most. The men I'm about to talk about are courageous, selfless, and now living quietly amongst us, possibly even as your next door neighbour. They were New Zealanders at war. North Africa, 1943. The desert sand was searingly hot, the air clear, pure blue, and ringed by silence. 1,000 men lay motionless. Time ticked by. A mortar shrieked overhead. Another day, another battle. This seems familiar to armies of khaki-clad New Zealanders. Ashburton man Cyril White was one of them. Cyril was 21 when he enlisted for World War II. He thought of the war as adventure, as a chance to see new places, share new experiences. Of fighting he knew little, and of suffering he knew nothing. The chance to become a soldier seemed such a glorious thing. 3 months in Burnham camp, and you came out as a professional soldier, said Cyril. For 3 years, Cyril was under fire. Much of his war was fought in the deserts of North Africa. He endured battle after battle. At one point, he even took a bullet through the side of his mouth. By day, the heat was endless, grinding, and almost unbearable. But by night, the desert became a freezing wasteland. You just got used to it, said Cyril. Though even now, he can still remember the unrelenting noise of war, of guns, bullets, and dying men. In 1945, Cyril's service ended and he returned home as a changed man. He is now 91, and every night he still thinks about the war. World War II has been over for almost 64 years, and to many it is now a piece of history. The years of combat that Cyril endured helped contribute to how his and our lives are shaped today. Cyril now hopes that the sacrifices made and the memories of New Zealand's brave men and women who gave their lives for God, freedom, and our country will never be forgotten by the younger generations. The year is now 1965, and in South Vietnam, the Royal New Zealand Artillery are arriving to combat communism. Back at home, Lance Corporal Hudson Harris and Corporal Bruce Wesley are training for battle. Both residing from Ashburton, the two soldiers were refreshing their skills in the field, with Hudson as a signal projector and Bruce training to dismantle mines. Oh, it was bloody hard work, said Bruce. But we all knew it was crucial, so we didn't complain. Hudson and Bruce didn't face a lot of combat, but they did have a few close encounters. We were marching one day, and our sapper was out front checking for mines, said Bruce. We came onto a tussle of grass that looked like it was hiding something, but the sapper didn't seem to notice it. He only realised what was there when I yelled at him to check it. Almost got half the platoon killed. But mines weren't the only problem in Vietnam. Smouldering heats meant that men were always exhausted after coming back from the field, and taking a dip in the nearby creek was out of the question. "Oh, you were always looking for leeches," said Hudson. "Whenever you crossed a river or a stream, there'd be 3 of them attached to your leg. It was horrible." Finally, after 7 years of intense fighting and the sacrifice of 37 New Zealand lives, the Kiwis were withdrawn from Vietnam. Hudson and Bruce returned home as different men. "We ended up learning more about a platoon than what we already knew about our own families," said Hudson. "These men now live quiet lives, but they will forever be honoured for the commitment they made to a war that seemed to have no end." 17 years later, New Zealand was at war once again in Afghanistan, and for Warrant Officer Swampy Marshall, it was another opportunity to see action. He had 22 years of military experience under his belt after joining at the age of 17 and was a qualified bomb disposer. "I was awesome," he said. "We started off training Afghan civilians on mine clearance, but we were cleared to do reconnaissance work as well, if we wanted to. Food wasn't too bad either." But life in Afghanistan wasn't always so easy. The ever-present feeling of uncertainty hung over Swampy and his battalion, with news of nearby ambushes and kidnappings becoming a constant fear. "I remember being in a convoy while travelling to an area near Khyber Pass," said Swampy. "A vehicle behind me was ambushed out of nowhere. They took the team leader and shot a soldier who tried to protect him." Swampy's service ended after a change in his posting meant he was being sent to Bosnia. Swampy said no. "It was a pen pusher's job," he said. "They just wanted me to write stuff all day. That's where I threw it in." The end of Swampy's career meant the end of a dedicated commitment to the army. The difference he made in Afghanistan meant that hundreds of Afghan civilians now know how to actively prevent casualties from mines. So, as I've discussed, these men made a courageous effort to defend our country when it was in a time of danger and uncertainty. They fought so that we may live to see another day. They fought shoulder to shoulder, united in a common cause, fighting someone else's war on someone else's land. And some survived against the odds to eventually return home. These men we pass daily on the street, unaware of the huge sacrifices they made for us all. However, for them, the memories live on and the experiences do not fade. As expressed in the Anzac dedication, as the dawn is even now about to pierce the night, so let their memories inspire. We will remember them.